Hey there folks, my name is Luke. Welcome to the Outdoor Gear Review. Today I am previewing the Sierra Designs Divine Light 1 FL tent. Take a look at this bad boy here. Very much different than most tents out on the market today. Most tents have that rounded design to them, not this one. Look at the angles on this. Look at the walls, very steep, very sharp. Nothing is rounded. Go ahead, get comfortable, grab a cup of coffee, grab me one, let's get started. Now this is a preview as I have more testing to do, but I have already begun getting this tent out into the field to see how well it performs. And it does perform very well. As you all will see in a future test night video, I've actually filmed it, ready to go, but things go in a certain order, right? This tent was put to the ultimate test. A severe knockdown thunderstorm, strong winds, inches of rain. Here with the Outdoor Gear Review, I put every single product that I review through a barrage of tests. I learn of their strengths and their weaknesses, and that's definitely the case with this tent here. Let's start off here by going over some stats while taking a look at the tent. When it comes to package weight, you're looking at 3 pounds, 5 ounces, and that includes all 3 poles, the guy lines, and the tent itself. If you would like to drop 6 ounces, you can leave these side poles at home and use your trekking poles. That will get the weight under 3 pounds. This is a non-freestanding tent, which means that it does have to be staked out to stand up. This is a single-walled tent. I would actually say this is more of a hybrid single-wall and double-walled tent. You'll see what I mean here in just a second. It offers you 360 degrees of ventilation. It has 2 entrances, which you will see here in just a minute. The guy lines are included, and they are reflective. The poles are DAC aluminum. All of the seams are taped. It includes a night glow accessory. It has a peak height of 45.5 inches. It is 88 inches long. It is 30 inches wide. And the fabric for this tent is a 20D, 30D, and 15D ripstop nylon and mesh combination. When it comes to the pack size, you're looking at 14 inches by 5.75 inches. So as you can see, this is the front entrance. You have this awning, which I think is really, really cool. I mean, you can have your chair, your backpacking chair, you could be sitting right here, and you could be fully comfortable. In a light rain, you're fully protected. Here on the sides, these are what I call the wings, right? This gives you protection from the wind. When you're all hunkered down in storm mode, you have this zip tight. It gives your gear protection. You have the door behind me, 2-way zippers, very, very good quality zippers. You can roll this up if you want to. So look at the size of that entrance. It's very, very good size. So you can crawl into your tent here and sit up fully. I mean, my head is not even close to the ceiling right here. I have plenty of space to move my arms. I can change clothes if I need to. Since I'm inside, let's talk about ventilation here for just a minute. As I mentioned in the beginning, 360 degrees of ventilation. You have the vent down at the footbox. On the right side of the tent, you have a nice, good size vent with protective door. You can zip that up if the weather gets nasty, or if you're starting to get cold. On the other side, you have the door and the vent. So you can close that up if you need to. You can also get out if you need to. Looking at the front of the tent, you do have a gear pocket. Fairly small, but you could shove your keys in there, your phone, whatever you want. Going up, this is the night glow accessory, which is included. And think of this as like a lantern. You can stick a flashlight inside of this, your headlamp. You can secure it with this draw pull right here, and it just glows. It works well. You have this gear line, which you can pull tight if you want to. Hang your keys, anything you want. Dry some clothes, whatever. Taking a look here at the floor, all of the seams are taped. And you do have somewhat of a bathtub floor construction. It is raised roughly 2.5 inches or so all the way around. Going to the side of the tent, you can see that you have this awning right here. This protects the body of the tent from rain and so on. You have a pole right here, which goes up into a reinforcement sleeve up here at the top. connects to this grommet down here at the bottom. If you don't want to carry these poles, you can use your trekking poles to set this up. You can save a little bit of weight. Going to the back here, you have one pole, 3 stakeout points, including the fly, right? Going around to the other side of the tent, you have the secondary door, guy line, all that good stuff. Of course, it has an awning as well. We'll go in here and just take a look at the vestibule. I mean, take a look at that amount of space. You can easily have numerous backpacks inside of this, your shoes, your tripod, trekking poles, your food, your stove. There's even enough space here to cook your food in an emergency. You'd have to be careful, but it can be done. So as you can see here, I'm laying down inside of the tent. My feet are almost down towards the bottom, and there's a good foot above my head of space. Plenty of room on the sides. I mean, my arms could stretch out. I can change clothes inside of here, and there's plenty of space left over. Lots of room for gear, maybe a dog. So when it comes to my experiences with this tent, I have a few nights out with it already. As I mentioned once before, one was during a knockdown severe thunderstorm, which you guys will see soon. I have never seen lightning like that in my entire life. It was intense. Definitely dangerous. Don't do that at home. Leave it up to me. Now, I have to say that any tent would have taken a beating during a storm like that. That storm would have pushed any tent to its limits. But during the night, while facing that storm, I had an issue with water, with rain coming through the side zipper here on the secondary entrance. The water was actually coming through the zipper and pooling down at the bottom because the rain was being wind driven. I did not have that issue on the other side because of the way that the tent was set up and the way that the winds were blowing. It was only on this one side. But that was the most extreme of situations, and you do need to keep that in mind. For your average thunderstorm, for your average rainstorm, you're not going to have any issues because you do have these awnings right here. So when the rain hits this, it falls to the ground. It typically doesn't get thrown to the side of the tent. So again, it's not the most storm-proof tent out on the market, but it still did a very good job. Now, for the most part, this is a single-walled tent, right? You have a single layer of fabric on the top, on the walls, on the floor, but you do have these awnings right here. So that is what makes this a hybrid single-walled, double-walled tent. Very interesting design, very functional. Now, with that being the case, I'm sure you're wondering about ventilation. Absolutely top-notch. What about condensation and moisture management? Well, with this being primarily a single-walled tent, there is some moisture buildup that's going to happen inside of this tent. Definitely with my testing, I've had some moisture build up on the walls, definitely here on the vestibule as well. That is completely reasonable with a single-walled tent. Now, when it comes to setting up this tent, it couldn't be any easier. It's a very simple process. You could do this under 5 minutes. And one really cool factor or feature to this tent is that once it's sealed up on the sides and here in the front, you can set this up in the rain without the inner getting wet. That's a huge plus. As I mentioned, it's very simple to do. All you have to do is stake it out and put in your tent poles. Let me go back to that point one more time and focus on the most important aspect, staking this tent out. Since this is a high-profile tent that has very steep, very sharp walls, this thing is prone to taking some wind, right? Definitely more wind than your average lower profile tent. You have to do a really good job of staking this tent out, or potentially this tent could punish you for your laziness. I've had that happen to me. During that severe thunderstorm, when I was setting up the tent, the rain was starting to come in, and there was one stake on the left side here that I had put into the ground loosely, and I remember thinking to myself, like, Luke, you need to push that thing in tighter, deeper, you know, like it really needs to be set well. But I didn't do that. I hopped inside the tent, started enduring the storm, and there was a wind gust, a very strong one. It came in, slammed against the side of this tent, pulled the stake out of the ground, and almost threw it over the top of the tent. I was punished right there for a mistake that I made. So when you go to set up this tent, you need to really make sure that you have these stakes put in the right way. Nice and deep. It has to be very secure because of this high profile. Now, with that being the case, this tent here may not be the best tent for rocky environments. Since it's non-freestanding, if you're going to a really rocky area where you may have trouble using tent stakes, this may not be the tent for you. If you're going to an area that faces strong thunderstorms on a regular basis, this may not be the tent for you. I think for like the average camping trip, this is a great tent to consider. Even for backpacking the Appalachian Trail so far with my testing, I would consider using this tent here. I really like it that much. Yes, those zippers are prone to leaking during severe, strong thunderstorms where the rain is being driven. But other than that, I mean, it performs very, very good. It really does. The design of this tent is very much different than most tents out on the market today. And I like seeing that innovation. I like seeing the direction where this company is going. With Sierra Designs, they make really good products. They definitely think outside of the box. One thing that we should talk about is color. What do you guys think about that color? To be honest, when I first saw it, I was like, I don't know, it's kind of like the baby blue color. After testing this tent out for some time, I really like the blue. It has really grown on me. At nighttime, I like the way that this tent glows when you have a light inside of it. It's not super flashy, it's not super noticeable, such as like a yellow tent or something along those lines. Now, when it comes to the cost of this tent, the retail price is $320. But if you look around, you could find this for roughly $270 on Amazon, Campmore, and other sites. I think for 270 bucks, this is a very, very cool tent. Of course, I will update you all with my testing, my review, and all that good stuff into the future. But so far, there's a lot to like here. There really is. The two things you have to keep in mind is staking it out is super important, and that with these zippers on the side, they're not waterproof. I would like to see that being addressed in future updates of this tent. A simple flap over the zipper would go a long way to giving this tent the extra protection that it needs. Because with my testing so far, it has not leaked anywhere else except for those zippers. So there you have it. That is the Sierra Designs Divine Light 1 FL tent. If you guys have any questions, email me. Until next time, strength and honor. See ya.